Who was the hardest person to like guard against or go against?
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. Okay, yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Expected, yeah.
He's a special athlete. I mean,
yeah.
God. I can't even put it in words how talented he is.
Complete muscle. Yeah, he's great.
Okay, attention. Our audio for Mr. Person cut out just a little bit at the beginning, so like 1/3 of it, which kind of sucks, but the audio will come back later in the video, just to let you guys know. All right, welcome back to the Deep Dive Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan, with George and Dabo over here. We like to dive into extremely controversial subjects, and then we also interview some pretty amazing people. So thank you for listening or watching, whichever one you're doing. If you find us inspiring, then go try subscribing. All right, second episode. How we feeling today?
Feeling pretty good.
Feeling great. Early morning episode.
First one went well, so got a nice guest on for today.
All right, so we're going to bring on our amazing guest in a second, but there's some news stuff I want to talk about just real quick. I saw this thing on a short video, and the guy was talking about how testosterone levels have been decreasing. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this, but I thought this had to do with football, just a little bit, because obviously. But it says that over within 100 years, it's gone from 800 to 2,000, or 2,800 now. So it's dropped completely, which is in, I don't know what the measurement is. Deciliter, I think that's what it is. Nanograms per deciliter, whatever. But anyways, I thought that was pretty interesting that testosterone levels are dropping
Past
completely.
how long? How
100 years,
Like
I think.
a century.
100 years.
I couldn't, to be honest, I couldn't even think of a reason why that's happening. I couldn't even put a guess on it, to be
The
honest.
only thing I could think of is that like people are doing less manual labor, and I don't know if that's part
one of them.
it.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, manual labor and manufacturing jobs. So everything's more like
True.
sitting in an office.
Yeah, when people sit in the office, I mean, you hear
that
about
could be
them
part of it.
They just sit in that chair all day. So I mean, that's fair. Yeah,
There's more,
I could see
leisure
that.
and like in the what's the word for it? Like comfort than there was 100 years ago. But
Yeah.
I mean it could be just like a. I'm kind of with George. That's the only thing I could attribute it to.
There's one other
Not a
thing.
scientist.
Marijuana use is actually related to that as well.
No way.
Did you know that?
Testosterone. I didn't know.
I mean, I looked on a kind of credible site. I don't really know, but I heard that a lot of things say that. So
Just
I don't know. And then exposure to air pollutants is also.
that
and
could be
that's-
one. That can make
that's
that
going
a
on.
lot of
Yeah,
sense.
true. I mean,
So yeah.
that marijuana one's pretty
yeah.
interesting though. I'd like see a chart on like the increase in marijuana use compared to decrease in testosterone levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could
see
just
if you
be.
could actually find a correlation.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I mean,
but
it could just be like it just happens to be that since it was already on the decline, and then people also started using marijuana. But I mean, was that like for worldwide or was that in the United States?
I think it was worldwide. but-
Worldwide. Huh.
Yeah.
pretty
Interesting.
crazy.
I don't know. Well, I thought that had to do a little bit with our guest in his previous job today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna welcome on a very special guest, being that he is our first official guest as well. He's a former American NFL football guard, selected in the 2011 draft. He's played against some of the most well-known NFL stars today. He started in all 16 games in the 2019 Super Bowl on the 49ers. He's also been on 6 different NFL teams, is an all-around great guy, and is also a very good friend of mine. Mr. Mike Person, everybody. And correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, because obviously Google is a lot less credible source than yourself.
The man himself.
Yeah. So I obviously want to talk about the NFL experience, but I mean, I think we should get into some little fun stuff real quick. We have this segment called Pose a Question, and it's something that I ask. It's usually a pretty cool question, and then we all give our answers to it. So this is my question for today. If you could go back in time and live anyone's life, who would it be? And you can't make any decisions or actions that they didn't. You would have no control over their life, but you would have to live out their life. What do you guys think? I said
I think it'd be cool to like experienced like what a caveman went through on a daily basis, just like such a primitive lifestyle compared to like what we have now, and like when they discovered the wheel, they're like, this is the most insane thing ever. So like seeing stuff like that, I mean, I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Or like Christopher Columbus, like exploring like a whole new side of the world.
That'd
I mean,
be
that
cool.
would
Like
be
Lewis
cool.
and Clark. That'd be actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Lewis and Clark, like going across the entire American like wilderness and back.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I don't know.
I'd have to say either that or like Alexander the Great, like the dude is insane, like conquered like half of like, was it that area between like Europe and Asia, but times like 21 or something like that.
21.
So, I can't, some crazy number because he's super young, but
Yeah.
I don't remember how he died though. He might have died by disease because I don't think he was killed in combat.
Yeah.
He was crazy, so maybe him. Yeah.
I don't know. I said maybe MLK Jr. Would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be
That
cool.
would
Or
be cool, actually.
Aristotle. I also said that. I don't really know much about him, but I think I said Mozart too, because he was one of the
That's a
cool.
good
He was
one.
one.
Good one.
Yeah,
So yeah, that is a good one.
he's one of the very first like major musicians. So I don't know. Do you have anybody?
Probably one of our first family member that came
Oh,
over
Oh,
that
yeah.
immigrated to the country.
Great
would
ancestors.
be
Sweden,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
I can't even imagine the immigration process, especially like centuries ago, just seeing like
Yeah.
how much has changed since then. But yeah, that'd be
Mm-hmm.
cool.
That'd be yeah.
Do you know how long like your family like lineage has been in the United States?
My dad's side came here in 1880s. Same with my mom's side. Mom's side came from Ireland. Dad's side came from Sweden. So
I don't know about mine. Yeah, I know they have those like tests online you can
Yeah,
do.
my grandpa and grandma on my mom's side, they came here in like the 1970s. So my mom was born in Ireland. But and then
I didn't know that.
my grandparents came in like early 1900s, like before World War One, from Poland and Russia. So yeah.
I don't really know too much about that past, but
There you go.
whatever. Okay. So my first question is, well, most people don't realize how important and difficult it is to be a lineman, because most people, they look at the Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, all those people, but without linemen, they wouldn't exist, I guess. And once you start to read all these articles, it's pretty amazing to see all the stuff that linemen have to go through. And I found this article. First off, is it cool to have an article written about you? I don't know. I thought that was...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. Something on my bucket list, maybe. Let me look at this article real quick, if I have internet. And it was, I think it was by, who was it? Bozeman Daily Chronicle?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. And yeah, I'll just read part of this. Here it is. Yep. So this was the one I thought that was pretty impactful when I read it, was Mike Person gazed at his phone, showing he was receiving a call from an unknown number, and dread followed. He knew exactly what was going to happen next. He waited beside his wife Kelly as she was receiving an ultrasound, a checkup on their eventual second child. Person had to leave the room. And then it later goes on to show that the Atlanta Falcons, I believe, did they release you?
Yeah.
Was that okay. But I thought that was cool. Obviously not the part that they released you, but the part where it tells about Kelly and that she was second child, Nora. She's upstairs. And then I don't know. I just thought that was pretty like personal and impactful to read. So
Yeah,
I think that
it's you see the big stars in the NFL and they stay with one or two teams the entire time, but
yeah,
90% of the NFL it's guys just trying to scrape by, trying to stay with the team, find their role within the team, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And, that's one story that we'll always remember, for good or bad. It's just sometimes you're living day by day, hoping you don't get a phone call like that. But I received a few of them in my career, and you just move on and keep going.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're gonna take it back real quick, back in time. You grew up in Montana, Glendive, Montana,
Yep.
I think, right? Okay. So, and then you went to Dawson County High School.
Yep.
And then before diving into that though, did they, I don't know, my dad said something about this. Did they name like some part of the stadium or something after you, or
no,
was it?
They didn't.
I thought I heard something.
My dad was our head coach there for 30 years, but
okay.
Yeah, it's just small little town and everybody knows everybody.
Well, I did read actually that people from your hometown, they made shirts saying "Hometown Proud" when you went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they had there was about 500 people down on the football field the day before the game, had a little rally for me. So
that's pretty cool.
That is
cool.
really
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it's only like, I mean, this says population's like 5,000 or something. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. See, this is proof that you can start from anywhere and basically get to the top. So
no question.
So yeah. Did you say?
Yeah, I was gonna ask a quick question. Well, I know you went to Montana State for college football. Was that just kind of a hometown decision? You like wanted to stay near home, or you ever considered going out of state to play college?
I considered it, but so coming out of high school, I had an offer from Wyoming, offered from Montana State.
Okay.
And Montana State's where I wanted to go. So it was a no-brainer once they did offer me a scholarship to play football there. I mean, I love the town of Bozeman. It's about 5 hours west of Glendive, but for Montana, that's really close. It's a big state.
Yeah, big state.
Montana State was a no-brainer for me, and loved it.
Mm-hmm. How different was that recruiting process in high school? Because now, I mean, you hear about the high school recruiting for football is just crazy.
Yeah.
And so back then, I mean, I'm assuming it was a little different.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the academy a little bit later, but I'm kind of experiencing that with some of my guys who are being recruited. And back then, I mean, that's just, 15, 16 years ago. It was completely different. We didn't have all the social media and stuff that kids have to feel like they have to advertise themselves now. But what I tell all my guys is, if you're good enough, they're going to find you. Recruiting may be different with the aspect of social media and all that, but if you're good enough, the teams are going to find you. So.
That's good. Yeah.
When was the moment that you knew you could play professional football? Because I know coming out of a small town, it must have been a completely different experience than a lot of NFL guys.
Yeah, it was always it's always in the back of your head as a football player, but I wasn't one to get hung up on whether I made it or not. Football wasn't my be all end all, and it shouldn't be sports shouldn't be the be all end all for guys. It's a great vessel to improve your life, get a college education. So that was reason number one. I was lucky enough to be on a full ride scholarship for 5 years. I didn't have any student debt coming out of college, and I got a great education. So, but when I realized that I could play is going into my senior year during training camp, they'd have NFL scouts there all the time. And my first 4 years, I'd be at training camp and scouting the older guys. And, you kind of sit there and think, goes back to what I said about recruiting. If you're good enough, they'll find you. And then they started talking to me after practices and during the season. And I was like, okay, well, we'll try this out. And if it works, awesome. If not, so be it. But, it ended up working out all right. Played 9 years and very grateful for it. Yeah,
because as an offensive lineman, you guys put a lot of wear and tear on your body. So 9 years is a really long time for a lot of offensive linemen. Because I know people
was
say
it 9 or 10?
9.
I know people say Tom Brady. It's he played 20 years, but he's not getting.
He's protected.
Yeah, exactly. He's protected because of people like you. So he doesn't have to feel all that wear and tear. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So how does we don't obviously know the process of getting to the NFL, but did they you have to fill out a job application?
No. So every college player, they're in a database in the NFL.
Okay. Yeah.
And each team scouts the guys. And if scouts think you're good enough, then they'll reach out. They'll come and visit the school during the season, and they'll call you in and just sit down, talk to you, give you some basic interview questions, make sure you're a good guy.
Yeah.
And then the more they look into you, the more they reach out to you. And then once you graduate, or once you're done with your senior year, or if you come out early or junior year, then you sign with an agent, and your agent starts getting your name out there more to all the teams. And then they just do their due diligence, the teams do, and hopefully you're lucky enough to be on a team.
Yeah. So I know the 49ers were your first team, and then your last team too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that, I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought that was pretty cool how you ended there too. So for the first season, did it go well? I know, was that the team that had the 13-3 record? Was that? Okay.
Yeah, we lost in the NFC Championship. It was a little bit of a culture shock coming from Montana, moving to San Francisco, all by myself. But it was a learning period, and I mean, there's obviously a lot of tough days, but maybe a better player, better person, and wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
Kind of going off that, I mean, having played for 6 different NFL teams, do you ever find it difficult to adapt to a new team environment as you're jumping from place to place?
No, not too bad, because every team has those guys who bounced around.
Okay,
True. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once it happens the first time, you know how to go fit into a locker room. All the guys are really good guys, super welcoming, no matter the team that you go to, and that everybody understands that the NFL, it's a business at the end of the day. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. Mm-hmm. And if you're not up to snuff for that team, they don't think you're good enough, then they'll move on from you. So every guy in the locker room knows that those are the stakes. So they'll try and help you out, but at the same time, you have to worry about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you pick a favorite destination or team you played for, city you lived in?
We lived in some cool ones. That's one thing my wife and I look back on. We were lucky enough. Yeah, it was 6 teams over 9 years, but 6 really cool cities.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, Seattle, St. Louis, Atlanta, here, and Indianapolis. So we love Kansas City. We love the city and the surrounding area. So that's up there for our favorite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You said you had some pretty cool places. Do you have any a favorite story to tell or anything?
Well, we'll keep it PG for you guys. But no, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Wish you would have asked me before we started.
Yeah, I probably
thought of a good one. But
yeah,
it's each group of guys I was a part of. It was unique. Our group that we had in San Francisco, my last 2 years, we had some good stories, playing cards on the plane flight back. But yeah, I'll try and think of a good one.
Okay.
I'm not good on the spot.
Yeah, I should have asked you before, but yeah, so do you have anyone that you thought was an all-around awesome teammate?
Oh, yeah.
Or anybody that you...
Yeah. Like I was saying, our O-line room in San Francisco, all of us, we got along so well. Yeah. Best friends. But I played right guard. Our center, Weston Richburg, we're still close as can be to this day. Mm-hmm. Joe Staley, he was our left tackle.
Oh, yeah.
He's just awesome dude. Just top notch. I was with him my rookie year for a year, and then go back in 2018. It's didn't even miss a beat. I've been there for 8 years, and just there's guys like that on every team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you're also a great guy, so easily to get along with. So, okay, so years later, 2019 Super Bowl season went really well. Mm-hmm. I know you had some injuries. Mm-hmm. But did you think you were gonna start the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Had to sit out a couple games during that year because of some stuff that popped up. But I had the full support of our coaching staff, my O-line coach, Coach Kyle, and once I got healed up, started back up in the playoffs, and we were lucky enough to get there. We didn't get it across the finish line. Almost had it, as you guys all know, being from Kansas City. But Yeah, that was an experience. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Is it a lot different, like prepping for the Super Bowl
Yeah.
than it is for a normal like game or even postseason game?
Yeah, it is, because like you have a 2-week window between the championship game and the Super Bowl. The first week it's like a normal game week like you would have, and then because once you get to the Super Bowl site, it's just chaos.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it was Miami too.
yeah, and it was Miami, and you have family members that are coming in for the game, so you're trying to help them out while taking care of what you're down there to do is win a football game. But and you have more media obligations, so you're every night you have to go sit in this big conference room for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Which isn't what you normally do during the season, but it was a cool experience, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about some of the experiences outside of what people see on social media, TV, stuff like that, because I mean, there has to be some just cool stuff about the Super Bowl that you really can't ever experience again.
Yeah.
It's like the stuff that the people don't see. It's all the behind the scenes stuff, like in the hotel. Security is top notch during the entire week.
I would imagine.
It's the same level as when a president comes to a town.
That's
what
crazy.
they told us.
Yeah.
So we have to bus over. We practice at University of Miami.
Okay.
And there wouldn't be a single car on the interstate when we were busing over. Like, they'd shut it down.
Wow.
For
That's crazy.
the half hour that we were on the road. And then, like, when you're in the hotel, usually when you're on the road in the hotel, you can just go down to the meal room, go back up to your room, There's security guys there, but they know that you're a player. Where at the Super Bowl, you need to have your credential 24/7, or else they won't let you into the hotel. If you forget it, you have to call like 4 different people.
Long process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like losing your like passport or something.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
With that experience, like, did you ever kind of like have like that, like a shock moment of like, I'm an NFL player, like these guys are like insane, or was it kind of just like a normal day at the office?
No, you go through that a lot. It's you get so wrapped up in the day to day sometimes, but at the start of the year, it's another year. Holy cow! I'm an NFL player.
Yeah.
Living my childhood dream.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was always nice to take a moment and reflect and. Sorry, excuse me.
No, you're fine. So, do you have like a favorite like moment or thing you saw there at the Super Bowl, or was playing the best part? Or
yeah,
what do you
playing
think?
in it was phenomenal.
It's like
Would have been a
completely
lot
different.
better if we won.
Yeah.
But no, playing in it, that's one of the things is, normal halftime in a regular game is 14 minutes. At the Super Bowl, it's over a half hour.
That is true. Yeah.
But
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
and like pregame warm-ups, usually you're out on the field 48 minutes before kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
But with all the pregame stuff at the Super Bowl, you're out there an hour and a half before kickoff. So you have to adjust your time frame, and the teams that do that are very successful. So it's a different experience, but after the first kickoff, it's just playing football.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I would feel like just the experience, no matter obviously if you won or lost, but just the experience. I mean, like, I know at least the first time, Brady, if he went back 9 times, I would probably want to win 1 or 7.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, just the experience. I feel like that would be nuts.
Special experience, that's for sure.
Was the crowd? Was that? That was pre. Yeah, that was definitely
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
it was a
So-
big crowd.
The crowd. I mean, yeah,
Right before it.
yeah.
What's like what does the locker room look like? I mean, it could be during just a regular season game. I always wondered what really goes. I mean, is it coach like yelling at you for different stuff, or is it more like just getting ready for the second half?
So coaches in the NFL, they know that this is your job too. So coaches are pretty even keeled during games. Like during the week, that's when they'll get on you if you're messing up.
Yeah.
But game time, that's for you to operate how you would. If you're a guy who's jumping up and down, yelling all the time, do that. But if you're a guy like me, when I played, I tried to stay pretty even keeled. I'd get fired up sometimes, but coaches aren't really yelling. Guys have their music on. Okay. It's not a laid back atmosphere. You can feel the tension in there, but it's such a different energy. I can't really explain it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like offensive linemen don't get enough credit for like the play on the field, like for both rushing and protecting the quarterback?
At times, yeah. At times. What's up?
The recording, it stopped for a while, so.
Oh, shoot.
But I'll just use yours.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. At times, we definitely don't. Because there's some, the stigma for offensive linemen is they're just big and slow guys, but some of the best athletes I've ever played with played offensive line.
Yeah.
And the work that goes into a game week, it's not just run into the guy across from you and hit him. It's hours upon hours of film study and preparation to have your plan of attack ready, and the mental side of it. We definitely don't get the credit we deserve sometimes.
Because one of the things that kind of like opened my eyes to like kind of the complexity within that was, I don't know if you know Mitchell Schwartz.
Oh
yeah. Right tackle for the Chiefs. He has like Football Friday thing on his Instagram where kind of he goes back to like his games and he explains like the techniques he's using and stuff like that. So I really didn't realize how difficult and like interconnected like all these different things to make sure in this exact position of things. So that was really cool to see.
Mitch is one of those guys. I played with him for half a season with Kansas City. Just great dude, and the amount of work that he puts in to study his opponent and how to attack it, it's pretty phenomenal. And he's super smart guy, intelligent guy. And, especially with social media, offensive linemen are starting to get more and more credit. And because of guys like Mitchell and his brother. But it's definitely a unique position. I always tell the guys that I train, it's the only position in sports that you play with your back to the ball 90% of the time.
That's true.
Yeah. Didn't think about that. I mean, you were center though weren't you a center for a while? Or?
Yep, I played all 5 positions.
Oh, okay.
Who was the hardest person to like guard against or go against?
Aaron Donald.
Okay, yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Expected, yeah.
He's a special athlete. I mean,
yeah.
God, I can't even put it in words how talented he is.
Complete muscle. Yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy.
All right. Well, I want to take a second to push football to the side for a second. This guy right here loves to fish. I don't know if you guys knew about that. But I never heard too much about your massive fishing trip. He went to Argentina.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, do you fish in the ocean or?
Went to a lodge in Argentina in Patagonia. It's all rivers, streams, and some lakes there. Big fly fisherman.
Okay.
But down there, I mean, it's an untouched place. It really is. It's 2 hours down a dirt road to get to this lodge. It's super remote, but it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I mean, just the people down there. It's a special place.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well,
did you catch that many or?
It was pretty phenomenal. So when I fly fish, I'm usually for trout or back in Ohio for smallmouth bass. In Argentina, biggest one I caught down there was a brook trout, which in the States, brook trout only get, a 15-inch brook trout is huge in the United States. Biggest one I caught down there was 26 inches.
Jeez.
It was really cool experience. I hope someday I can go back.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun. Yeah.
So, you said you stayed out pretty remote. Did you have I know obviously the culture and the food's a lot different probably. Was that?
It's pretty similar.
Really?
A lot of beef. A lot of beef down there.
Okay. Huh. Yeah. All right. Well, if that's, I guess we'll move on to, I think I actually heard you the other day say that coaching was one of your main dreams. So this guy has started 5 Dot Academy. And then I'll let you kind of explain what that is pretty much.
Yeah, it's an offensive lineman academy in Dublin, Ohio, a suburb of Columbus. Okay. And we just focus on developing high school offensive linemen year round. Because like we were talking about recruiting anymore, it's becoming more and more cutthroat. So if you're not perfecting your craft, then there's guys out there who are. And I want to help high school kids. I don't care your talent level, if you're on the freshman team, if you're a 5-star recruit. I just want to help you have the best experience possible playing high school football by teaching you the techniques that I learned throughout my various teams and my time in the NFL. So it's a pretty fun deal that we have going there.
So I'm assuming it's, well, I don't know, but is the 5 Dot for the 5 on the line? Okay.
So when a coach draws a play on a piece of paper or a whiteboard, first thing he puts down are 5 dots for the offensive line. And like for pass plays, he draws the receivers, they run all the routes and stuff, and there's nothing for the offensive line. It's just 5 dots there. So at 5 Dot Academy, you're more than just a dot. We want to develop you into a complete offensive lineman and player.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
What was your reasoning for having it based in Ohio? Anything behind
So my wife is, that's where we live.
Okay.
My wife is from about an hour away from Columbus. We moved there 2 years ago. And, you know, I was searching for things to do. Once I retired, I've always wanted to coach in the NFL or college, but I've made our family move enough following my playing days. So I opened this up, and who knows what the future holds, but for now it's been awesome.
I mean, I've heard pretty great things about it. I know you have an Instagram page, so I'll leave that in the description. If anybody wants to attend a football program, I think it's in the summer, right? Or is it just all around?
Yeah, it's all year round.
Okay.
We started in February this year. This upcoming year we'll start in November, December once the season's done. And for guys who aren't doing winter or spring sports, I'd encourage you to keep doing something. So come on in with us and get some training in. And
I know 2 of my friends are going. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, Dylan Drake.
Oh, Dylan. Okay.
They're going.
It's cool.
He's played offensive line for our school?
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of offers from like Princeton and Yale, I think, and stuff
K-State
like that.
Too.
And K-State.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
Crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, any questions about that?
I actually had a question. You kind of mentioned your retirement earlier. And what was the process like behind that? Was it like a super difficult decision, or did you kind of know that like it was time?
I was torn. I mean, everybody wants to keep playing, but I just felt it was time to be done. And, you know, we're happy with the decision. Wouldn't change anything the way it happened, and just time to move on to the next phase of life.
Well, I know in lots of articles you said, you know, you want to spend time with all of them upstairs. So, I mean, that's...
So as since you want to spend more time with your kids, obviously after retirement, I feel like there's always been kind of a debate over whether parents should force their kids to play sports or try to push them to become like a super athlete. Since you're obviously a super athletic person, like what's your stance on that? Do you feel like you want your kids to play sports, or
our kids to do whatever they want to do?
Okay. Yeah.
If they want to play sports, then I'll be their number one fan. But if they want to go a different avenue, if they want to go into music like Nathan, I'm going to support them and let them do that. So my wife and I, Kelly, we're on the same page. We're not going to decide what our kids are going to do. They're going to decide what they want to do. We might nudge them one way or another and say, why don't we try this?
Out, yeah.
And if you don't like it, then that's fine. But we tried it. But I'm all about finding what you really enjoy doing, and you pursue that. You know, I don't care what it is, but you find what you enjoy doing, you pursue it, and you chase it.
It's a good approach.
I don't. This is kind of a different question. It's a little bit theoretical, but like, if you could play any other position in the NFL, what position would you play?
I don't know. If I had the athletic ability to.
Well, I mean, different positions require different.
I don't know. I mean, that O-line's a position I love, so I wouldn't really change it. It's such a unique position in sports because you never touch the ball. You're always fighting for something, and I don't think I would change it.
I think the mentality too.
Yeah.
Is like
go up there and pancake somebody.
At least try to.
Yeah. So is the I feel like all the plays and stuff that would be hard to remember for me, but is it you just study that a bunch? Or?
Yeah, so the easy way to go about it is overarching concepts. It's just like any other subject in school. You find the overarching
material,
overarching context of it, and then you apply it to that group of plays. So like in the NFL, a lot of teams run the same stuff, they just call it different things.
Yeah.
So having to learn all these different playbooks that I did, it was easy because I put it into groups. Okay, this is like this play that I was with this team. That's how we ran it. That's how we run it here. So it's just changing terminology. It's really not bad because, you learn the play, then you go out and repetition, learn from your mistakes. That's the big thing about surviving and really any arena that you're in. It's learning from your mistakes, making sure you don't do the same thing wrong twice. Because if you do that, you're showing that you don't care to learn.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually, I had a question about, you kind of mentioned stadiums. Like, what was your favorite stadium to ever play at? Was there like an atmosphere? That was
There were some cool ones. My first start in college was at Texas A&M. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
In the NFL, Arrowhead's awesome.
Yeah.
CenturyLink in Seattle's awesome. Levi's in San Francisco is really cool, especially. I mean, when it's rocking, it's a cool place. Candlestick, my rookie year, was such an old stadium.
Where is that?
In San Francisco.
Oh, that's the old stadium.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I have a soft spot for old stadiums because they're just so different from these big modern ones. Candlestick was a neat place.
Who do you root for? Do you like a favorite NFL team you're root for? Or is
Not really. Growing up, I was a Dolphins fan, but now I just root for my buddies that I played with and follow their careers and cheer them on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You ever get a chance to play in the old Raiders stadium with the baseball?
Yeah.
I mean, how did that feel? Was it?
It's different. It's pretty wide open. It's funny. The locker room is, you have to walk up stairs. Usually you just go right into the tunnel, into the locker room. You can tell that it was an older stadium because it was smaller, the locker room was. Okay. And you had to go up like 2 flights of stairs at halftime when you're dog tired already.
Yeah.
But their LA Coliseum is a neat place. Really cool place to play.
Did you, I know 49ers go against Green Bay a lot. Did you ever have to play in the snow or anything?
Not in the NFL. In college, we had a lot of snow games.
Yeah, in Montana.
Yeah. Our coldest game my senior year was about 20 below wind chill against University of Montana.
That's crazy.
Is that a big rivalry? Montana State versus Montana.
Yeah. And you don't wear gloves, do you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
that's gotta be brutal, but probably really like adrenaline.
Different.
Yeah. It's a unique feeling, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of Green Bay, Raheem Mostert, in the NFC Championship, obviously had a huge game, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns, I think it was. Did you feel I guess the whole offensive line really accomplished after that game, knowing that that's really all you?
It
opened those lanes.
It's just one of those days where it was clicking for us, and Raheem was just going crazy.
Yeah. Was that when he hurdled the guy, or was that a different?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but man, it's a good feeling when it's going like that.
Because he's a Packers fan, and he doesn't like me bringing that up. So, but
That's funny. Well, I also heard you the other day talking to my mom a little bit about the college players getting endorsed. And I just want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
but
no problem.
I thought your opinion was pretty
so,
good.
with the NLI stuff, name, licensing, imaging, I'm all for it for college kids, as long as it's at a certain cap. I don't think it should just be a free-for-all where you get 10 different endorsements for X amount of dollars. I mean, you're still in college, you're getting a college education. But only 1% of college football players go on to play in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So 5 years down the road, if you have knee problems from playing college ball, NCAA college, they're not on the hook for that. So it'd be good for these kids to be able to stash some cash away in the event that something happens down the road.
And they work all year too.
Yeah.
And it's like
I think it should be comparable for what a normal college student does for work.
For their job,
Yeah, for their part-time job. I don't think it should be this ridiculous amount of money, but it should be something to live off of.
Yeah.
I've actually never thought of it like that. A lot of them can, have like an injury and then not be able to play in the NFL. So having that endorsement deal can pass.
Yeah. Kind of going off that. I mean, this really hasn't happened in the NFL much, but in the NBA, you see kids going out of high school and they go to the NBA G League instead of college now. Mm-hmm. Like there's two brothers who just signed $1 million deal to play in the G League. So, I mean, obviously you probably think that's a little too much money, but do you think that if college athletes are going to start just going towards the pro route already, you think it's going to take away from the sport at all? Or
college basketball, it might, because you'll have that many less top tier players coming in and playing. Football's such a different sport because there's no way a high school kid can go straight to the NFL. Just developmentally. That's true, actually. I mean, these are grown men, and not taking anything away from basketball. But if you're a supremely talented athletic guy, like LeBron James went straight from high school to the NBA, and he was already bigger than most of the guys in the NBA, but you're not going to find that for high school kids going to the NFL. Yeah. So it might take a little bit away from college basketball, but college basketball is such an institution that it'll take a lot to.
Yeah. March Madness and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So it's a big thing. So, I mean, same with college football too, though.
Yeah. So they're both huge sports. I mean,
probably
college game days on ESPN.
Yeah,
and seeing all those people nuts. There. There's some crazy.
Because you got all the college the college.
I mean, they got big
fans too,
fan bases.
So
Have any predictions for this upcoming NFL season, college football season?
No,
Any favorites for the Super Bowl?
I'm just a fan. I don't make predictions.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of those guys on ESPN, their predictions are way off. I think you guys went to the Super Bowl. One of the guys projected you guys would go 2-14 that season. 14-2, and then
you can say anything if you're a talking head because there's no repercussions.
Yeah. Most people don't even remember what you said too.
Exactly.
That's true. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm out of stuff, but is there anything you guys?
Well, actually,
we got a question over here. All set.
Okay.
So, I know. So the recognition for guards, something that's really unspoken of is dietary plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious as to what
that's
your dietary plan is.
This
is good.
So I was always a guy who had trouble keeping weight on. So I could eat quite a bit of food, and I'd gain 1 pound maybe. There's guys. I mean, you have to eat very healthy because you're going against the best of the best. The Aaron Donalds of the world that are strong as hell and quicker than you can believe. So you you always want to put in fresh stuff into your body, and most teams, really all teams now, they have nutritionists that they've hired. That's their full-time job, be a nutritionist for the San Francisco 49ers, and they set you up on a diet plan and you follow it, and it's pretty amazing once you get into that plan after a couple weeks how much better you feel.
Really?
I mean, you just have more energy, and just feel cleaner and not so tired all the time, and you get out of your body what you put into it. Easiest way to say it.
So did they get, like, you had required, like, specific things you had to eat, or was it like...
Yeah, like, for lunch and eat this, and this, in this food group, this amount. Like, so it wasn't, you have to eat this, but this is what you should eat.
And then I remember you said that, like, you had to keep the certain weight. Yeah. In order to, and didn't you get, like...
Yeah, you could. So you can get fined for being overweight or underweight in the NFL.
I thought that was crazy.
Mostly it's for guys who are overweight. You have like a 6-pound range that you have to fall within. And weigh-ins are Friday mornings, usually. Friday or Thursday, depending on the team. So, there's guys who might struggle with their weight, and they'll try and drop weight just for that day to be within their 6-pound range so you don't get fined for being overweight. But yeah, what I found is if you stress about it, it's just going to hurt you. Cause I mean, I stressed about my weight my rookie year, and it was just kept falling off. And then once I was like, all right, just don't worry about it. It'll take care of itself. Then it was fine. But yeah, being fined for, being overweight, there's some guys who are nervous before weigh-in day.
I mean, I feel like some people might I don't know, it's like slack off if they don't have that.
I'm not sure how many fines Vince Wilfork.
Well, I don't think they really cared, because for being 380 pounds, he was pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
All right. I have a question?
Yeah. It's kind of a detour from the whole food thing, but it was kind of like, I know that now, compared to probably when you were in high school, like a lot of kids, especially younger athletes, like they're dedicating all of their time to like one sport.
Yeah.
And it seems to be like wearing out their bodies, and by the time, they get high school, college, it's bad for their health. Like, do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I think kids in high school, middle school, they should play as many sports as they can. I played football, basketball, and track when I was in high school. And one, if you just do one sport, you're going to get burnt out on it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, yeah.
And two, the more sports you play, the different movements that you're going to do. So you become an overall better athlete. Like, playing basketball helped me tremendously for playing football.
Just the agility
stuff. Just side-to-side stuff. And, because a lot of pass blocking is lateral movement. So that helped me out a lot. That's what I tell my kids, my guys that I train, is play sports, play basketball, do wrestling, get in track in the off season, in the spring. Don't be a one sport guy, because you're going to be a one sport guy once you get to college, if you play college football. But enjoy your time that you have in high school.
The variety of it.
Yep.
Everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Do you think, I know, like your coaches during college was that your favorite moment was college, or was NFL?
So high school football is like the purest form of football.
Yeah.
College was the most fun I had, and the NFL was my job, Yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't not like I hated going to work every day. I still loved it, but college, I mean, those are the friends that will last your entire lifetime, because you were there together for 5 years, and all the ups and downs that you'd go through. It was your home away from home.
Yeah,
that's true. Do you have a piece of advice you give to like younger, I guess, athletes looking to go to college, stuff like that? I know I have 2 friends that are like looking towards that. They live in California, but you have like advice you give them?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I tell my guys that I train, and this isn't just for sports. This is for everything. One is something that I learned from some Navy SEALs that came in and talked to us when I was with the 49ers.
That's cool.
And their motto is, how you do anything is how you do everything. So that's not just for sports, that's for everything. So even the smallest little tasks that you have in the morning, if you do those right, I guarantee you're going to do your homework right. And then I guarantee you're going to lift weights the right way. It's basically all about not being lazy, paying attention to the detail at all times. And 2 is don't ride the wave. So what I mean by that, don't let your highs be too high. Don't let your lows be too low. Just be you. If something bad happens, just stay even keel, move on from it, learn from it. Don't let that define you for 2 days, a week, 2 weeks, a month. Bad things might happen sometimes. Be smart about what you're doing. And on the field, you're going to have a bad play. I've never met a football player who's never had a bad play in his career.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. But the good ones, they learn from that bad play and they shrug it off, go on to the next play.
That's how you fix it. Yeah.
You just learn from it. You don't dwell on it, because on the football field, if you're worrying about a play that you just had, you're going to have another bad play because you're not focused on the task at hand.
Yeah.
That's a good piece of advice.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well.
Who's the biggest trash talker you ran into in the NFL?
That's a good
one.
So, D linemen don't really talk much trash. There's kind of like a mutual understanding between O linemen and D linemen. Jadavion Clowney talked a lot. A lot. But most D linemen and O linemen, it's pretty quiet, really. So, I never ran into too many trash talkers.
Yeah.
Jimmy G chirp at anyone?
Oh, Jimmy chirps sometimes. He's funny.
That's funny.
That is pretty funny, yeah.
Also, do you have any crazy fan interactions while you're in the NFL? Any good stories about that?
I don't. I mean, I was just a guy on the bubble of the roster. But I'm sure, like Jimmy and Joe Staley and, the bigger name guys have some crazy fan interactions.
Yeah, I bet.
And George.
Yeah.
That's got that fun.
Yeah. Well, but even that one photograph of you.
The muddy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the muddy one. I have that one upstairs.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty famous. Have you seen? You've probably seen it. Like the, Mike Person, mud picture. It was I don't even know what game that was in.
It was Washington Redskins in 2019.
Yeah, and it's a pretty solid picture. I mean,
this one.
Yeah, so it's he's muddy from the. Was it raining or was it? Just
it was raining all day, and
I know that was a big thing.
That is a pretty cool shot, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's all I got.
Yeah.
all right.
Thanks for coming on.
It's good stuff, boys.
Yeah, it was
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
learned a lot. So
Good questions.
I actually did. That was really insightful.
it's cool to see the inside perspective,
No
and I'm
question.
sure like coaches have a different perspective, but the big known players sometimes don't have the inside scoop on some things. So I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it was fun.
yeah.
Good
that's
questions.
Right, yeah, there it is.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
a pretty cool picture.
Yeah, cool picture. I mean, it shows all what
All
the
the
linemen have to
grit.
go through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good embodiment.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you guys for watching or listening, and I guess we'll see you guys next week. We don't really have that planned out, but
See what it is.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what it is.
Leave a comment.
Yeah,
Shop your merch on ghopshop.com.
you always say that.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a thing now?
I guess so.
Okay.
And our sponsor,
All right.
the JBI.
All right. Well, yeah. Take care. Peace. All right. So
Good stuff, boys.
Stop the recording.
Yeah, thank you.